Hello again, and welcome to another edition of Today's Reps, an extension of the H3 Leader podcast, where my intent is to share a couple quick thoughts for your consideration. Today, I want to talk about emergency backup plans. You see this gorgeous valley behind me? It's just beautiful. But what does it lead up to? It leads up to the fact that I am standing on a serious dam. I am at the Farmdale Reservoir in East Peoria. And this place exists for one primary purpose. No, it's not the Mountain Bike Association. It's not the beautiful trail system that's over here, although I love to enjoy that. The reason this reservoir exists is to protect that town over there from the 100-year and 500-year flood. Now, is that going to happen in my lifetime? Likely not. It could, but probably not. But history has told us that it will happen. And so they're prepared. Army Corps of Engineers put this in place, ready to rock and roll. How about you? In your business, in your life, in your faith? Are you prepared and ready for the 100-year flood or the 500-year flood? It may or may not happen, but chances are, if you take a look at history, it's going to happen to some of us, likely many of us, and there are things that we can do to be prepared. We could go with the classic emergency fund that doesn't get touched for any reason other than an absolute emergency. We could go with sinking funds. I'm talking financially, of course, here. But we could go with sinking funds that know, hey, eventually I'm going to have to replace a roof. Eventually I'm going to have to replace an HVAC system. So why don't I prepare for that? That's not an emergency. It's going to happen. So I'm going to build a sinking fund and make sure I'm ready. How about preparing for future staff growth in our business? We know we want to grow. We know we might even acquire additional spaces. So how are we preparing ourselves financially and also from a leadership development perspective? How are we making sure that we're ready for that expansion, for what's coming? How about in our faith, when we have a crisis of faith, or when we have an emotional hit, or maybe something that affects us mentally? What are we putting around us that'll help us to adapt in crisis mode in a way that is healthy, that is prepared, that understands that this is a part of the natural rhythms of life? So just want to encourage you with that thought. We're not going to do it perfectly, but what could you do? What might you do to better prepare for the inevitable, we'll call them disasters, that are going to come at us in the various areas of our life? Just something for us to think about. We're not going to do it perfectly, but we can do better. At least 1% better, maybe even each and every day, because you and I know that every day is training day. Thanks, folks. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.